Hello and welcome to episode 27 of the Swimrun Show podcast. I'm Mike Alexander and we're bringing you the Italian Stallion this week. Popular guy on the UK race scene, it's Davide Molinario. Italian born but British based. He's been racing quite a bit this year and we're going to dive straight in. Hang on after the chat with David, we'll have a little preview of the One Water race, which is a biggie. I'm sure you've heard of. If you haven't, well, you'll hear about it in about 40 minutes. So yeah, here we go. The Stallion. Okay, so David Molinario, how are you, sir?
Hi, Mike. How are you?
I'm good. You, you've had quite a start to the year with the old racing, several podiums.
Back into it after a couple of years of rest, really.
Yeah, you had. So I met David at the outdoor show in March.
That's right.
And then you told me you'd had a couple of years off. But what was your start into the swim run world? I guess
it was by accident.
Okay.
So in 2016, I gave it a go with triathlon. I was getting a bad back with work. I'm a farrier, so I work with horses.
Okay.
Farrier. So the person that puts the shoes on the horses. So my back works really hard all the time, and I was getting a bad back. And a friend said to me, "You should try triathlon." And so he got me into doing Ironman Wiesbaden in Germany, and didn't go particularly well. I love the swim, the biking, but my favorite bit was the running, and it became the most painful experience I've ever had. It was just terrible. So I did some short ones, some sprints, loved them. I gave it a go again with the next year with one called Epic Man in Lancaster, and the same thing happened when it came to the running. In the meantime, I've been training quite a bit swimming. So the swimming was coming on all right. I mean, never really like the top guys. I mean, I could do a 400 in 6:30. That was my best, really, nothing. But every time in training we put a pull buoy, I would like zooming away really fast, because I had this problem with the legs dropping. And when this guy came along, friend of mine, Chris Duncan, he said, "Look, do you fancy doing this swim run with me? Because my partner has got an injury." And I said, "What is swim run?" "Oh, you gotta go in the Lake District. You gotta swim in the lakes, and you can use a pull buoy." Pull buoy. I thought, "Oh yeah, I'm in it."
Yeah.
And that was in the Battemia half in 2017.
Okay.
That was my first swim run. Absolutely loved it. It was just, yeah. And then after that, I did the Coniston the same year, the full, with another friend, Tom. In fact, that year they had some special guests. They had the world champion guests like Daniel Hosson and Christine Larsson, isn't it?
That's right. Yeah, I remember.
And I remember also seeing that year Chris Goodfellow. He had a ridiculously big pool boy. He was just, I think he made it himself. He joined two pool boys together. This was before they brought in the rules, the size of the pool boy. So, but that's how I started, really.
Yeah.
Pure accident. And so since then, triathlon is gone out the window and it's just swimrun.
Cool. Yeah. Cool. So interesting. So yeah, you had a bad back, and a friend recommended you did an Ironman. I don't know. That's.
I was he said you need to do more sport, and I wasn't really the kind of person that stands still. I do run. I've always run a bit, but obviously that required a lot more intensive training. And after a year of joining the triathlon club, my back pains just started disappearing, and now it's a thing of the past. Unlike a lot of colleagues of mine that really are only getting worse all the time. And it's just so I'm really not leaving the sport of swimming and running ever again.
No,
I'll be doing it in my 80s, I think.
Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, because I think people struggle with the bike position, don't they? And a long time on the bike,
That's probably,
yeah.
yes, absolutely. That does not help your back a little bit,
Mm.
but the whole swimming, running, biking certainly did a lot of good for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
But I'm
cool.
happy to ditch the bike. I mean, I do use it in training when like yesterday we went mountain biking to the pool. So I'm always on it a bit, but not really as a training tool. Yeah.
Yeah, cool, good stuff. That's a good sort of Lake District. You did a couple that year, 2017, and then
You
just
might have
carried
been.
on. Yeah, I was at Coniston 2017, Buttermere 2016.
Oh,
So yeah,
okay.
we must have maybe seen each other
I can't
at
remember
some point.
whether that one was the really cold Coniston one,
Yeah,
or was it it was that one, was it?
it was. Yeah,
With the
yeah.
foggy start.
Yeah, it was cold. Well, it wasn't too bad, but it certainly looked quite daunting at the start.
Yeah, 20-minute run at the start. It just didn't give you time to warm up at all, did it?
That was right. Yeah, it was. I think it was down as a 40-meter run,
What
and
was it?
I,
That's very
yeah,
generous.
at 40 meters, and I
Yes.
had assumed it meant 400 meters, and then we stood right by the lake. I think, I wonder where this run's going, and then we just ran
Tom and
straight
I,
into the lake.
straight into the lake, and Tom and I
Yeah,
were tied up with the rope because he wasn't swimming as fast. And I remember we got into the swim, and about 20, 30 meters into the swim, he shouted at me and he said, "David, I need a moment." He just froze basically because the water was just so
yeah,
cold.
yeah,
Yeah, it was tough, that one. Yeah.
yeah. It's a good one. Cool. So you've this year. So how many years did it? Was it a COVID kind of pandemic timeout, or was it?
Yeah. So basically, in 19, I did none. No, I did Llanberis in 19.
Mm-hmm.
When was it, COVID? It was in 1920. It was
20.
2021.
Well, it started in 20.
Yeah, so in 19, I just did the Llanberis one. I came third uh, on my own, solo. And obviously in 20, I did none. And in 21, I did 7.
Oh wow, 21 to
And I
7.
was on the podium every single one. I started with the Manchester. Not many people have heard of the Manchester swimrun.
Yeah, I've heard of it, but they don't. Yeah, they don't shout
Because
about it too much. Yeah, but yeah.
I wrote a message to Gary Pavitt from British
Mm.
Swimrun, and I
Mm-hmm.
said, "He's not in your list of, Manchester is not in your list of swim runs, because you can get points." And
Yeah.
he said, "I never heard of it."
Yeah, I did. Okay, I have told mentioned it to Gary. Maybe that you shouted out before, but I'm pretty sure he contacted them or tried to and didn't get a response.
No, that's correct.
So yeah,
Yeah.
whatever.
And that was an early one. That was on 25th of April in 21, so it was cold.
Well, that is early. Yeah.
So did that one, and then I did 7, including that one. Basically all the Skinner's mustards, and then the Breca ones, including the Jersey one.
Oh, nice.
And then I had entered to go to Cannes, the
Mm-hmm.
Otillo Cannes,
Mm-hmm.
but I was literally raced out. I had done so many. I just
Mm.
said to my wife Julia, because we had almost bought the flight, and we said, "Let's see, I've done enough this year, too much."
Mm.
And in fact, the following year, I only did 2 in 2022. Yeah.
Okay. So you went hard in 21.
I went a bit too hard. Yeah. And then this year I'm back into it. Really, I'm gonna try and do as many as I can again.
Yeah. How many
So,
have you've done? How many have you done so far this year? Then.
so uh, I've done this year. Tamega was the first one in
Oh
Portugal,
yeah, Portugal. Yeah.
because Hugo Mota, I met him. He's from Portugal, but he used to live in UK.
Mm-hmm.
I met him in Grafham Water, and then we did Breca Coniston together, and then Jersey together. So I needed to go down, and we were doing Rockman together.
Mm-hmm.
So I needed to have a practice run with him. So he said, "Come down to do Tamega. I'm in the organization. I can get your discount as well. And so that was a 45K one.
Oh,
It was a
nice.
good practice run. And then I did Llanberis when, with you, or against you.
Yeah.
And then Gower, and then Rockman. Yeah.
Oh.
The Eliminator.
Was that before
That was just
Tamega?
after Tamega, was it?
I can't remember now. That is early, isn't it? The Tamega
Yeah,
one.
it was early. So it was before Tamega, the Eliminator. Yeah. Brilliant.
Yeah. Yeah.
So brilliant that I've managed to invite some from our triathlon club to do it.
Oh, good.
And
Good, good,
Julia,
good.
my wife, is going to do it as well.
Cool.
So I'm really looking forward to the next edition in September.
Yeah, 28th. Yeah.
As well as
Yeah.
your other race, the Divey. Sorry, I pronounced it wrong now.
Dovey X swimrun.
Dovey X.
Dovey, yeah.
In fact, you told me about this Roman road. I'm really interested about.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, well, yeah, it's called the Roman Road. I'm pretty sure it wasn't the Romans that tried to build it. I think it was an attempt in the 1800s to join Abu Dhabi and Pennell, which is the next kind of village along the estuary. I guess for ponies and things. So it's a tidal. Well, estuaries are tidal, but the tide actually goes all the way past 13 kilometers. In fact, so it's a good old flow, and yeah, it's a beautiful section of the course. That's around about run number 4, I think. So yeah, it's
the youth centre looks absolutely amazing. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they outward bound there. Yeah, it's right there. And yeah, it's a cool course. It's a swim heavy. Like the first half is swim heavy, and the second half is run heavy.
It looks like in that one you kind of apply the 20% swimming on the whole length of
Yeah,
the.
more or less. Yeah.
Nice.
It's yeah, but definitely the first half is the swim heavy, and then yeah, there's the big meaty run where you can either do well or not well. Is run number 6, which is 8.9k and about 300 meters of height gain. Other than that, though, all the runs are pretty short.
Yeah, my wife is coming to do that one too. In fact, she's got to enter actually.
Cool.
So that's definitely something we're looking for.
And then jetty jump to finish, jumping off the jetty.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Depending on what time you get there, depending on what time you get to that swim entry, it will determine the height of the jump, because as the tide comes in, it gets less of a high jump, and as it goes out, it gets more of a high jump. But I've timed it so more or less the kind of maybe the very front of the pack will get just before the tide has turned. The back of the pack will probably have the highest jump, but it won't be a massive difference.
I have to jump because I wear this silly big pool boy, the Arkill, which is absolutely fantastic. The Plus, I have to jump feet first. I tried in your Liverpool one to jump head first, and I lost the pool ball.
No, that's a technique. Yeah, totally. So totally. No, this is definitely
leg as hard as possible. It just came out.
Yeah. No, this is definitely a feet first jump. Like most are really, but the Eliminator is a bit different in the sense that it's most swim runs are kind of in the wild nature, and you're never sure the what's underneath the water. There could have been a log moved, or depending on rocks, all that carry on. So you got to go safety first with the Eliminator, because we use it so much for as a swimming venue, and I personally check all the entry points. So it's you can dive basically if you want to. You can dive, but I haven't perfected the dive entry with a pull buoy either. It's tough to keep that pull buoy in place.
It is a bit, isn't it? You got to be careful.
Yeah.
But it's such a great tool. You don't want to, get rid of it.
Yeah. So, so that's that really. And there is an option to do, the chicken run. You can climb down the ladder. If you don't want to do the jump, you can.
But that will take a lot longer, so it's not an option.
Yeah. Not an option. No. So yeah, that should be good fun. That's 8th of September. So you're top. So you're second in the Eliminator. You have won in Llanberis. How did you get on in Rockman?
Rockman, my partner Hugo had a bit of a tough time. You know,
Okay. Yeah.
I think he had a cold the day before. He had a few cramps. So on the second part of Rockman, he struggled a bit. But we were a team. We pulled through together. We had an amazing time because Hugo is a really really good teammate, and you need a really good teammate when you do a race like that.
Mm.
And yeah, it was the most amazing experience ever. I remember we were crossing the fjord to Foley, which is the longest swim, which is 1,750 meters. And at one point, Hugo taps my feet, and I thought, oh, something is wrong. I turn around, and he looks at me and says, Davide, we were right in the middle of the fjord, surrounded by mountains, and he said to me, Davide, let's take a moment to look around here, this amazing place. And that's what Hugo is like. He was making a time to enjoy the surrounding, because sometimes when you go your race head on, you forget to look around a bit.
Yeah.
And he is very good with that, and he made the experience extra special.
Mm.
Yeah, it's do you fancy doing the Rockman? I think
Yeah, definitely. I do.
wow.
Definitely. Never. It always clashes with stuff, but yeah, I do. Like, I fancy the terrain. It's probably my kind of strongest. Well, from what I've heard, I prefer the technical stuff. The more
Yeah,
technical,
the
the
first
better
the
for me.
first half is definitely really technical. Some of the descents are very very rocky,
Mhm.
slippy rocky. In fact, you need a good pair of shoes.
Yeah.
And the second part is tough because you have got a lot of climbing, and you're obviously tired after those 4,444 steps.
Yeah.
Are not to be underestimated. But what makes the second half hard is the boggy land.
Mhm.
It's quite heavy going, and it probably could be even worse on a rainy day. We were lucky the rain wasn't there. Really, we had fantastic weather. But yeah, that made it certainly extra tough. On your legs, you can cramp up easily when it's heavy ground, So you got to look
Yeah.
at your nutrition and your drinking very
Yeah.
seriously.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you use poles, by the way? Walking poles?
Walking, running poles?
Yeah.
No.
Because
There
I
was a
noticed.
guy that had them, but no.
Yeah. Yeah.
There
Yeah.
was
I
a guy
remember
that had
talk.
them. He fitted them on his back quite cleverly. I remember
Mhm.
exactly, but so they would be in the same direction as the swim.
Mhm.
No, I
Okay.
um, I never use them even in mountain races in Italy.
Mhm.
It's not my thing. A lot of people do, but
Mhm. Yeah. I
uh,
just remember talking to Thor, and I just when he was describing the terrain, I thought, "Oh, I wonder if people use walking poles." And he said, "Yeah, people do."
yeah, I've
But
seen one. There might have been more, but
yeah,
definitely it's a possibility.
yeah, yeah. But it's another thing. You don't want to start. You're kind of using a pole on that race. I guess you need to kind of. It is a skill using walking poles, isn't it?
It is
And
absolutely,
then
and
particularly swimming with them.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
a little bit tricky.
yeah, yeah,
A bit of time consuming when you got to put them on and off.
yeah,
Obviously.
yeah, yeah.
But on a
No.
race like that, those kind of transition they don't have to be as fast as people take their time because it's
Mm,
50, 51 kilometers. It's a long time. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Cool. Oh, well done.
Well,
And then
I'm
you.
doing again next year.
Okay.
Yeah,
Good
definitely.
stuff.
Yeah,
Good stuff. And then you won Gower.
yeah. That was great, isn't it? You were there,
Yeah,
obviously. It wasn't
yeah.
hot like the past ones. It was 28 degrees when I remember doing it before. It was insane.
Yeah, yeah. Do you know what? It was hot enough for me. It's like
It was.
that. One of those runs felt quite hot, but yeah, it wasn't too
Did you
bad.
have what kind of wetsuit did you have? Did you have this short sleeves or did you have a vest?
Yeah, yeah, Schluts. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
I had a
Yeah,
vest.
almost. Yeah, yeah. But it was. What did they wear? I think they wore the Arcuto, which was fine. But I do get hot on runs.
By the way, I've used the Arc for the first time in Rockman, the wetsuit.
Okay, which
It's
one?
the warmest one.
Or no?
Yeah,
Or no? Yeah.
absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
In fact, I didn't even feel the cold water in the first swim. I put the armpits on, but the
Yeah.
freedom it leaves you to move, it's incredible. Yeah,
Yeah.
second to none.
Yeah. How did it? Did you get through the race without like running into any branches and
Yeah, I cut
smashed?
my knee a little bit. Probably, I'm guessing, could be the same place where Amanda cut her knee. There were two rocks close together, and you had to put your legs in between, and kind of cut my knee a tiny bit, but nothing
Okay.
like some other people. Yeah, but just
Okay.
scratches, also,
But what
branches.
I don't care about your knees, David. I'm talking about the suits. How's the suit?
No, the suit, no,
No problems.
no problem whatsoever. In fact, I didn't even damage it, which is a good thing because it's expensive.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
only
Yeah.
thing with the suit I had to try, so I ordered a medium and a large to start with, because when you order it, you don't have chest sizes. You go by height and by weight.
Hmm.
So on my height and weight, I would have had to pick up either a medium or a large. I was kind of in between. So the medium, I couldn't even get in. The large one, I just about squeezed in, but by the time I put the camel, what's it called? Not the camel, the kangaroo top.
Kangaroo. Yeah.
It was too tight. So I ended up having to ask Arc to bring an extra large to race day so I could try it on. And I'm not very tall. I'm 177 centimeter tall, but I weigh 80 kilos. So that was a bit tricky finding the right size.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, it's. I've been meaning to chat about this actually. Good topic. The old sizes on the arc suits because they. Yeah, you're quite muscly and broad, and
I'm
but
quite
as you
heavy.
say, you're not that tall. So yeah, I can see why that's you've struggled a little bit, and I'm not as muscly as you, David. But
Yeah,
I
but
struggle with the
it's
if
not
you're on the edge.
having that extra weight,
Yeah, a bit of extra
But
weight.
the
But
idea
they say if you're on the border between arc specifically, I'm not talking about all wetsuits, but if you're on the border between, say, small and medium, which I was based on height and weight, they say go for the small. So I got the small vig, and it is too tight. I mean, I can race in it, but it's a bit of a squeeze. So I've got the medium arc Uto, and that's pretty much perfect for me. So I'm in terms of my arc size, I'm a definite medium. So if you know me and you've seen me around, my size and wide, how wide I am,
yeah.
that's a medium. And David is, well, you're an extra large, but you probably wouldn't guess that because of your height. But yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I
one
mean,
of
I
those
probably
things.
would have got away with a large, but when you got to put the kangaroo top and food inside,
Mm,
that's
yeah,
when you really struggle with the zip,
yeah,
and you can feel that stuff compressing on your chest. So that's
yeah,
to consider if you're wearing a kangaroo top. I'd rather get the bigger option
yeah.
rather than going for the smaller option. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. That's a good point, especially the longer races, Rockman and the World Champs, where you've got to carry a load of food.
that's right.
Uh, there's there's not a load of space in my medium for sure. But yeah, it's a great point. And as you say, the suits. The reason I was asking about the getting stabbed by a stick, etc., because they're high performance, but you've got to look after them, haven't you? They're not as tough as some suits. So yeah,
I gather not, but luckily
yeah,
I didn't
good.
fall.
Yeah.
Uh, and so I didn't, but I could have easily damaged it. Yeah, and
Yeah,
I mean you can repair it, but you
yeah,
don't really want. Yeah.
yeah. And then they've also brought out a tougher version. What was it called again? Anyway, it's out there and it's
That's for
more.
warm weather, is it? As well.
No, I think
Sorry,
it's a
for cold weather.
general. I think it's kind of advertised as like a training suit.
Yeah,
It's fine for racing too. It's just a bit more hard wearing, and it looks great. It looks like a decent racing suit and also an awesome training suit. If you want to get used to the arc suits, it's called a duty. That's it,
the duty. Oh,
a
okay.
duty. Yeah, it looks good. So there we go. Wetsuits covered. I just generally, I mean, I'm sure people know, don't they? Like the size guides, they're approximate. I think most wetsuit companies are reasonably good at kind of sending stuff back and
Yeah, all for that they were absolutely
yeah,
fantastic. Yeah,
yeah,
no.
yeah.
The only problem is that you got to pay import tax. So if you
Yeah.
are returning a suit, you got to pay it first, and then you got to claim it back. So it's a little bit time consuming.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So you've done, so that was that, and then you've got, any races in August, David?
No, there are. Well, there's a Manchester swimrun. They moved
Yes.
it from April, May to August,
Mhm.
but and it's I think possibly next week. So I don't
Yeah, I
know
think
whether
it
I'll
is,
go
yeah.
and do it, but
Mm.
I was hoping that they might join the list of swim runs in UK for points, and then I would have definitely made an effort. But I think probably I might go away training with Julia, like we
Yeah,
did last weekend, and do some swimming in some Lake District or Peak District, swimming and running.
nice, nice. And
Our
what,
favorite training ground.
yeah, yeah, it's a good spot. What, so you've got your art, but what paddles? I've seen you got some nice big paddles there.
Yeah,
What have
very
you
big.
got?
They are the Evolvent XTD
XTD.
large.
Okay.
But I've used them for all the races this year, and they are fantastic. But in the longer races, in the longer swim, you start seeing yourself sacrificing the push
Okay.
on the front crawl. You know, the different stage. The push is very
Mm.
important
At the back.
because it's
Okay.
you got the recovery, catch, and all that, and the push. And with such a big paddle, the push starts getting weaker and weaker as you get on. So I'm considering. I made a pair of paddles for Julia, slightly smaller, kind of designing myself a bit, and I've been trying them at the lake. And I think I'll go down to a slightly smaller size for the races. So in training, I'll use the large ones,
Mm-hmm.
and then I will use the slightly smaller one for racing.
Good.
Uh,
Good plan. Yeah.
yeah. But I love them. They are a new concept of paddle. They've got definitely an original shape, different from all
Mhm.
the others. And yeah, they are up there in terms of paddles for me. Yeah,
Cool. Yeah. Good. Well, you got it. Yeah. Got to find what works for you, haven't you? And I know there's a few people that like those evolvents. Not tried them yet, but
yeah.
they
You
look
can
good.
make the risk very easily of going for paddles that are large because you have the feeling that obviously they do make you faster, especially in the pool work where you go shorter swim session. I
Mm.
mean, when I was wearing them in training, so I'll be going to the pool and I'll be doing 4K swimming in total, and I definitely drop down by 5 seconds per 100 with them
Hmm.
in average.
Yeah.
Um, so they are
Yeah.
very very good.
Yeah. Yeah. That
I
is
just
good.
have to be careful. You just have to be careful when you swim in the pool, and you got these big plates of carbon, quite sharp. So you got to be careful who you get in the lane with.
Yeah.
But at Total Fitness, where I go, they're very good, and there are plenty of lanes. And I tend to go in the less busier times, and so
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can
No,
do
that is a
it.
good point. Yeah, the ones I've been to, it's been okay with the paddles. But I can imagine. I think some people have told me their pool doesn't allow paddles.
A lot of them don't. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. So I know Chris Goodfellow's pool let him wear his trainers, so he uses everything paddles, tall boy,
in his pool.
and his trainers in his
No,
pool. Yeah.
I've asked them to in mine to use training. They told me no. I wanted
Yeah.
to have Oh, he's lucky then. Very good. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I think he used them. It's a pool specific shoe. So it's not. He doesn't use them outdoors, so he just
Ah,
has
okay.
them for pool training. That's how he's got around it. I think. Maybe he says he's got verrucas or something. But yeah. So yeah, cool. So that's that. And Shoes, hot topic at the moment. The old shoes.
Yeah.
What
Uh,
have you got?
well, I used to use always the Innovate for
Yeah.
a lot, but then I found that my feet were getting sore, and I needed something with. We got a really good shop in Lincoln called the Lincolnshire Runner, so you can go and try shoes. They have a treadmill. They let you run outside. And Mark there told me you need something with a bit more padding.
Mhm.
And so I think I started with some Hoka with carbon plate. I can't remember what they're called.
Was it
But
the
then,
Tecton?
sorry?
Tecton? Was it
Yeah,
Tecton?
yeah, I
Yeah.
think it might have been, yeah. And they were great. But then I bumped into the Saucony Endorphin Edge. They got a carbon plate. Actually, they got two carbon plates. It's not
Oh.
a single carbon plate. It's two separate ones. And yeah, they are incredible. They are very fast. They're not the best shoes on wet rocks, so I have to be a bit careful. So in fact, in Rockman, there's a lot of wet stones, so I have to take care of that. But they are by far the best shoes I've used. I don't think, for me, specific swim running shoes do for me. I prefer using more like trail running shoes.
Mm.
There's another shoe that my wife bought, and I think I've seen them on Nicolas Ramirez's feet, which is the Adidas Terex Agravic. I think it's a long name. Adidas
Yeah.
Terex Agravic Speed Ultra. There you are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, and they've got Continental sole,
Mm-hmm.
which is very good on wet ground. So I'm going to buy them this month, and I'm going to have a play with them and see what they're like.
Yeah. Yeah. No, the Adidas are pretty good. Just by coincidence, really. They're not. They're not that aware of swimrun. I don't think in Adidas headquarters. I've spoken to the UK director, and it's just too small for them at the moment. So they're not.
But I don't know why you did. I don't see the advantage of using a specific swim run shoe for swim running. Personally, okay, shoes are a very personal thing because the water does come out anyway.
Mm. When
And
you say swimrun specific shoe, what are you talking about?
there are some swim run specific shoes, isn't it?
Well, Vivo barefoot, do you mean, or
Yeah, that's one of them.
yeah,
Because they worry particularly about water escaping from the shoe in a design, I
yeah,
think.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. I don't. Apart from maybe Vivo barefoot, I don't think there's any other really swimrun specific. There's shoes
Mine,
that get.
there were more, yeah.
But there's shoes that get talked about a lot in swimrun circles, like
Yeah.
Adidas, Speed Ultras, and Innovates actually, yeah. But it's all, particularly Innovates, were popular in the UK because they're designed for fell running, in the UK, which is generally wet ground, and you're going
Yeah,
to go through
yeah.
puddles. So they're designed to drain, like you said. But you're right. It's 100%. There's kind of not a demand for a swim run specific shoe. I don't think, because of what you've just said, because the trail running shoes, particularly that do well in the UK, are designed to drain, aren't they? So
Yeah, they are, and yeah, absolutely. And people used to drill holes at the bottom of the sole, I remember,
yeah,
years
that's
ago,
right.
because
Yeah.
it's completely pointless. Yeah,
Mm.
but also the Hoka. I mean, I've used the Hoka for sky race in Italy, a mountain race,
Hmm.
and they were very good. The grip was fantastic. So the Saucony, definitely the downfall of the Saucony is the grip,
Okay.
but it's such a fast shoe that for me is still the top choice.
Okay. That's the Saucony Edge, Endorphin
Saucony
Edge.
Endorphin Edge, yeah.
Okay.
Because I don't know what it is. Maybe it's my. I seem to believe that because I'm heavy, 80 kilos, the carbon plate works really well for me.
Hmm.
It
Yeah.
kind of also, as well as giving you speed, it kind of protects your sole from all the rocks.
Okay.
So at the end of a long run, the sole of my foot doesn't feel tired or sore at all. So
Yeah.
and I felt the
Yeah.
same in Rockman. it's all rocks everywhere. And when I got back, my feet were absolutely fine.
Good stuff. Yeah, but as you said earlier, Dave, it's very individual, isn't it? The old
Yeah, very
shoes.
much so. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And you've gone through that journey of finding the Saucony Endorphin Edge, which I like, and yeah, there's quite a lot of people like this Saucony in kind of the running, running friends have got. So
They don't last as much. I mean, I already wrecked a pair. They're
okay,
big here. In fact, I finally wrecked them when I went to the Lake District this weekend gone. They split completely.
well, yeah, that is another thing. We talk about the wetsuits, kind of, when if you yourself and others doing a lot of training in the wetsuits, they take a punishing, but the shoes, because of wet, dry, salty, sweaty, they can take a real punishing. And my Adidas Speed Ultras have just torn, after Gothenburg. So yeah, I try and rotate the shoes, and you almost need, you definitely need
Yeah,
several
because
pairs of
also
shoes.
because you got all this extra padding and this carbon thing, they get tired after a while. So you lose
Right.
that return energy on the shoe, and then you're finding yourself having to buy another pair. So yeah, it's definitely an expensive piece of kit
Yeah.
nowadays. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But cheaper than a bike.
Oh, anytime, anytime.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool.
Especially when
So
it gets stolen like mine. Yeah.
yeah. Oh no.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I lost my mountain bike last year. Yeah.
Oh. Oh dear. Well, I'm not sure anyone's going to steal your wetsuit, but you never
No.
know. Keep an eye on it. um, so September? You've got WX swim run, 8th of September. What else? You've got a few more, haven't you? You
So
got
then Coniston,
Coniston 22nd.
yeah.
Nice.
Your Eliminator, which I'm
Eliminator
really looking forward to.
28th.
And maybe I'll have to decide maybe a week or two. I might do what you suggested in your podcast. I might go and do the Survivor the next day.
Yes.
Which
Yes. I
would
think
be
you
nice.
should. Because that's not too far from you, is it? Is it?
No, it's not too far. No, what is this year? Is a Graph from Water, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's probably about an hour and a bit from mine.
Okay.
And Julia is doing that one too. So she's doing. It's nice to be able to do things with my wife.
Is
Just
Julia doing back to back?
possibly. She's
Okay,
quite
cool.
keen.
Yes.
She's training a lot. She's doing an ultra triathlon in Corfu in October.
Oh wow.
And then we're doing, so the next swimmer after that, it's the one in Hydra.
Ah, brilliant.
In November, so we're doing that one together.
Brilliant. Oh, brilliant. You'll love that. I think you'll do well there.
That's about 30 odd Ks. I can't remember how long it is, but yeah.
Yeah. 36 or something.
Yeah, something
Yeah.
like that, yeah.
Yeah. Hilly as well. Bit of height gain.
Yeah, we like hills.
Yeah.
We like hills anytime.
You'll love it.
I'm
And
definitely
is
a
that with
type of person.
yeah. And is there a big Envol crowd going over for that one?
Yes, I think so. That's right. I
Yeah.
was talking to Nicholas. Yeah, that's right. He's very much involved in that one.
Yeah.
So you get a discount in the race as well, which is good.
Yeah, all good. Yeah, cool. And you've coached. You're part of the Envol gang,
Yes.
aren't you? And
I bought the Rockman training plan, which has been absolutely fantastic. But that one started in March. So before that, they were giving me all the training plans to follow to build up for the Rockman. To be honest, I didn't think when I saw the Rockman training plan, I didn't think I was going to manage doing it because of my job. My job is very physical. I had to learn to manage tiredness. I had to be careful not to overtrain. But I managed to get through that plan pretty much okay, and it made a massive difference. There was a lot of hill work, a lot of alternate training, sprints, long distances, a lot of swimming, and it made a massive difference for me. Yeah,
Brilliant.
it's definitely
Well
worth
done.
every penny. Yeah.
Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff, David. Well, good luck in all your races coming up. I'll see you quite soon, in a few weeks, of course. And
Yes. Looking forward to it very much.
Yeah. And thanks for coming on.
Thank
What
you
time
very
are
much
you?
for having me. It's been an honor. Very much.
Oh,
You are running such a great podcast, Mike.
thanks, David.
It's superb.
What
Always
time are you
looking
start?
forward to the following one.
Okay, yeah. What time are you starting with the horses today?
Today I'll be starting about a bit of a later start. I've moved a few things around. I'll be starting at 9 o'clock.
Nice.
Hopefully not in yesterday's heat, because yesterday was about 30 degrees.
Yeah.
It was tough. I was outside not in a barn. I was outside, so I was feeling the full force of the heat.
Oh,
But the advantage of that is that the horses are very quiet when it's hot.
oh, okay.
They don't move a lot. So in
Okay.
that sense, it was okay. So yeah, I don't have a massively busy day, and I'm looking forward to go training this evening.
Yeah. Yeah. Good stuff. Well, have a great day, David, and
Thank you very much.
see you in Abu Dhabi.
Absolutely, yeah. Looking forward to it. Thank you, Mike.
Good man.
Take care.
Well, there we go. Another pair of shoes to have a look at. The Saucony Endorphin Edge. Always good fun chatting about shoes. Of course, find what works for you. And yeah, one water race coming up. I did promise a little chat about that. It's 250k ish. With 200 kilometers of running and 50 kilometers of swimming, give or take 20%, should we say, depending on the checkpoints and your journey to those checkpoints. Check it out, onewaterrace.com. I won't say too much about it, apart from one of the teams looks like they've withdrawn. Team 8, a Swedish team, looks like they've withdrawn. So there's 7 teams on the start line. According to the website, and how many will be on the finish line? Only one, I think, made it last year. So some of our favourite swim runners are taking part. Adriel Young, Daniel Hansen, Kristen Larsen, Johan Hasselmark in Team 6, and some other big names, of course. Helen Wickmar of Arc Sports. So yeah, do check out the coverage. Should be great on onewaterrace.com. Paddles, yes, I have actually tried the Evolvent paddles. I forgot when I was talking to David. I tried, John Littlewood had a pair, and we were swim running in Abu Dhabi, and I had a go of his, but I didn't really give them much of a chance. So I'd like to try them again at some point, and I'm sure I will. But yeah, that's it. That's enough kit chat. So hopefully have a good August, get training. The water's certainly warm enough to get lots of training in. And yeah, hopefully see you in September somewhere on the start line.